everyone, and welcome to our Monday Minute. Today we're here to discuss some very important denial topics in hospice medical review. We have seen an increase in the denials related to face-to-face and the certificate of terminal illness. The face-to-face encounter is required for every third or later benefit for hospice. The face-to-face encounter may be conducted by medical director or a nurse practitioner. The nurse practitioner, if conducting the face-to-face encounter for hospice, must be an employee or a volunteer of the hospice. They cannot be contracted. If the nurse practitioner does conduct the face-to-face encounter, they must sign an attestation on the face-to-face encounter that they have passed the clinical findings from the face-to-face encounter onto the certifying practitioner. The certifying physician for the hospice must use the clinical findings from the face-to-face encounter to create the clinical narrative of the certificate of terminal illness. The certificate of terminal illness, of course, is required for every certification period in hospice, and in third or later benefit periods must be based on the clinical findings from the face-to-face encounter. Whether the medical director or physician member of the IDG did the face-to-face encounter or if a nurse practitioner did it, regardless, the clinical content must be utilized to create the clinical narrative of the CTI. So a certificate of terminal illness cannot be created and signed prior to a face-to-face encounter occurring, again in the third or later benefit periods. It's also imperative that you understand the attestation statements that are required to be immediately above the signature of the practitioner conducting the face-to-face encounter or signing and certifying the patient on the certificate of terminal illness must be exactly as the attestations that CMS requires they be. We will provide you a link to this regulation. These are the two most denied reasons in hospice medical review, in addition to support for the terminal illness ongoing. They are the core to the certification process for each certification period in hospice, and it is vitally important that you understand the detailed requirements for both of these, the face-to-face and the CTI, and that your clinicians adhere to that. One more thing on that topic, if the certifying physician is also the one that conducts the face-to-face encounter, there still must be two separate pieces of documentation. A face-to-face encounter documented, signed and dated, and then the certificate of terminal illness. They cannot be one single clinical document. Thank you for your attention today. Healthcare Provider Solutions stands ready to assist you with any hospice medical review and with any documentation questions that you might have regarding any part of hospice documentation. Thank you so much and have a wonderful week.